Okay, we have 8 minutes. So you have to go to school for something with your kid. We're not sure what it is. What happened last time you got called to school?
Got brought into the office.
It's funny. That motherfucker's 30 years old. Ain't been to school. Probably never even attended school ever. And he gets called to the office.
And they want to explain to me that they didn't start off by saying the little girl was mean to my son. They just said your son was rude and he called this little girl and said that she was going to be a cat lady in the future.
How is that even?
Well, I mean, how do we know she's not going to be? And how is that? You call me to the fucking office?
Call him in here.
Did you tell the teacher that? How do you know that she's not going to be?
That's what I said. You'd think the school would just and he's not even there. He's off doing something. I mean,
he's on the play yard.
Yeah, he's out there playing, causing more issues.
You'd think you'd have to sit there right next to you.
Well, that's you want him disciplined, I'll discipline him, or you discipline him, and we can move on. But I guess that's their way of dealing with it.
So what do you think it is this time?
No idea.
So there's no cussing. He didn't bite anybody. He didn't kick anybody. He didn't scrape anybody's knee. But you had to have a teacher conference because he told some chick that he was going to be a cat lady.
That was the last time, yeah.
Fucking crazy. Like, we don't have better shit to do.
Well, I mean, he might be right.
You're the teacher. Fucking teach. Because really, you're not teaching much. Your daycare is what it is. The only reason the public school system still exists is because fucking parents are fucking lazy and rely on that 8 hours to send their fucking kids someplace. Because there is alternative fucking schools other than government schools that can teach your kid better. A fucking 5th grader can teach a 3rd grader. In a lot of cases, better than the adult can. The adult is just there for adult supervision, which apparently there wasn't a lot of supervising going on that day. That, or they're just so fucking bored that they need to call your ass in over calling somebody a cat lady.
What kills me is when I was in elementary school, parents I got called a whole lot worse, but we just got over it.
Right. And it was a throwdown on the playground.
Exactly.
And the teachers came and separated you, and that was the end of it. You let kids fucking work that shit out, but we have sheltered them and hovered over them, like Ben would call them, helicopter moms, that the kid fucking cries over such a lesser matter nowadays because it's so traumatic to him because he never experienced what a fucking actual ass whipping was.
Never. Your kid gets in all kinds of shit, though.
Yeah.
Did you ever get called to the school for anything?
I did.
What was it?
It was 4th grade, I think. I flipped off the gardener. The guy that was cutting the grass, I guess not gardener, but the janitor back then, Rio Seco School. They took me into the office. And back then, they still had paddles. They still had the paddles. And the principal had this wall locker. It was a nice wall locker. But it was filled with paddles, like...
This paddle collection?
There was a paddle collection. I mean, he had some with holes in them, some... I mean, it was pretty badass.
Flavor of the week.
Yeah, he could have done some serious... And these paddles were huge. Remember I was in 4th grade, so they may have been little, but they looked huge. And I can't remember what he said to me, but he took that paddle. He's like, showed me my mom's permission slip that said that she was authorized him to use the paddle on my ass.
Your mom gave me one of those slips when she was here last year.
And he took that paddle. He had a big leather couch, and he hit that, he hit that couch as hard as, he put every effort to it and flipped that couch over. He goes, "This is what I can do to you if you ever do that again."
And nowadays, if that happened at school nowadays, somebody would try to sue the school.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I was traumatized. I never flipped anybody off for at least 10 years.
And it worked.
Yeah, it totally worked.
It worked.
What kills me is I can remember the shit that happened in school that I can't even imagine they'd call an act of terrorism.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like
firecrackers in the toilet, glue in the lot, any silly shit.
So
What I was just talking about the other day was I used to go to summer school to just so they get rid of me for the summer. But Baltimore City, you know, so it's a bunch of little assholes. And this one kid had doctor gloves. I don't know why. So he pees in one on the bus
Oh,
and
shit.
holds it shut while we're driving through fucking town, and there's this dude in a convertible sitting next to us at a
Oh,
fucking
damn.
intersection. And he starts yelling something to him, and the guy in the convertible just gives him the fucking finger. So he tosses that fucker right in there. And the damn bus driver didn't know nothing, but the summer school bus driver didn't give a shit what we did. We could jump over the seats and do fucking flips and shit. He didn't even fucking want to look back. So, of course, this guy in the convertible's trying to get the bus to pull over, and the bus driver's just, he don't give a shit. He's just follow me to where I'm going, and then I'll stop.
They sent me to summer school. I was 16, 16. And I met a girl named Tiffany Ann, and she stole my virginity, literally. And I fucked her and her sister's 35-year-old friend. And that's what I got for getting in trouble and having to go to summer school.
Did you learn?
I learned a lot from Tiffany. I still practice some of those skills today. No, I was talking about you. Did you ever get in trouble? Did your kids ever get in trouble when you had to go to to school?
Oh yeah, a couple times.
Cody was never in trouble. Sebastian is always in trouble. But half of the shit now that they call Sebastian is just like silly shit. Like, you really called us in for this? What was your biggest one?
The biggest one was Colton taking a knife to school.
But he didn't threaten anybody
No,
with it. We had guns at school in in my friend's Blazer, and waiting for Red Dawn and shit like that.
We had a metal detector.
We had a teacher named Mr. Valley.
Metal
He was cool
detector.
as fuck. He knew we had all that shit there. He had guns in his car. I hope he's not a teacher anymore. I'm sure he's not. If you are, you're not anymore. But I'm sure you're not practicing that anymore. But it's just silly fucking how shit is today.